Harley Davidson's HOG membership benefit of towing, what a joke. Hang out, hear my recent personal experience with it, and why I say, it's a joke. Hello and welcome to Road Rush Nation. I'm Terry, your host here, and thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to be a member of the nation, it's free. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. So let me get into today's discussion and what, first of all, I owe you guys a huge apology. I recently did a video on the HOG membership and why I said, oh, this is great, and one of the benefits is you get towing, and they've upped it to 2 people, or 2 tows, excuse me. What a joke. If you've seen the recent series I did on our bucket list ride down to Key West, it's just starting. Well, something happened to my bike on that beautiful, amazing bucket list ride. We were coming back. We were 50 miles south of the Tallahassee dealership, and my bike just died. Now, to find out the problems with my bike, that'll be another episode. I'm strictly sticking with the towing story on here. So basically my bike goes dead. I have to pull off. Like I said, we're 50 miles south. We're on 19 north. We're on the Gulf side of Florida. Beautiful area. It's hotter than heck because it's Florida and it's just that time of year. Great time, and pull over, go to start my bike up. Yes, it starts up, but no throttle response. Some other things are going on. So we're all like, it's a Sunday. It's the Sunday before the 4th of July, so that's an issue. But luckily, Tallahassee Harley Davidson, they were freaking awesome. They were open. We called them, told them what the situation was. They had a couple hours before they were going to close. They says, yeah, you can probably bring it in and drop it off. If we can't get it to today, we'll get it tomorrow, which is fine. I'm all good with that because it's the holiday, and you know, they did have a service department open, but they didn't have, you know, everybody on staff. Makes sense, right? Anyway, so we proceed. Now it's Aaron's got his bike, my bike, which is dead on the road, and then his cousin who has a trike. It's there, Greg and Sherry. So it's okay, we're gonna need to get this towed because I can't ride it. So the first thing you do is like, Aaron's like, get your card out, get your membership card, I'll call Harley and we'll arrange a tow. Okay, no big deal, right? Okay, that whole phone call conversation takes forever. Now, before I get too far into this story, let me just explain, you and I are not the customers for the mothership, big manufacturer Harley Davidson. We're just like the consumer. Their real customer is the dealership. That's who they sell bikes to. They don't sell bikes to us. They sell it to them. The dealership is the real customer for Harley Davidson, the manufacturer. I say that because they treat us differently than they would a dealership. A dealership is going to treat you better because you are their customer. You're their bread and butter. And I get treated quite well by most dealerships. In fact, they'll offer to come out and pick up a bike, have it trailered back to their facility for no charge. So we use this at home, and we could have used it this day, except that Tallahassee's wasn't available at that time. The membership is just to keep us connected to the brand so that you keep wanting to consume it. I get it, it's a marketing strategy, but the reason I say this is because when they deal with us directly, it's totally different than they deal with a dealership. Tallahassee Harley Davidson was awesome through this whole thing. I'm going to say that right up front. They were like super. And you'll find out more what they did for me and how we dealt with things in that upcoming video on what happened to my bike and some tips I'll give you. But let's let's get back to the towing. So Aaron and I are first on the phone dealing with Harley and getting a towing service. Now, we're out in 19N and we're pretty much in the country. It's not a interstate highway, it's your country highways. So there's not much out there. So your cell signal is kind of sketchy and you're dealing with that. So first of all, who knows where their call center's at? I don't even think it's located in the United States, because we emphasized to the woman we were talking with, who was not American or not originally from here, let's just put it that way. We're 50 miles south of the Tallahassee, and we're in Florida, from the Tallahassee Harley Davidson. Give her all the information. She goes, oh yes, you're entitled to a tow, blah, blah, blah. Looks up my membership information. Great. Then we get into, let's arrange the towing, you know. And I mean, you go back and forth trying to get information, giving information back and forth. So it comes the time for them to give the location. I need a PIN. So what they'll do is they'll send you a text message and say, you click on the link and it's supposed to drop a PIN of where you're located at. Now mind you, we've told this woman over and over again, we're 50 miles south of Tallahassee. She comes back and goes, yes, I received it. Okay, not a problem. Then she says, yes, we can get you towed. Then she proceeds to tell me, well, there's a limit on your towing, and basically the first, now this has changed, here's where it gets screwy, the first 16, not 60, not 50, 16 miles is all it covers, and you have to pay the difference. And I'm all like, okay, at that point I just want to get the bike to the dealership. What's the difference? Hold on to your socks, because here comes the difference. Now, I was so mad when she gave me this total. I was livid. In fact, I was so mad, I just told the woman, I'm giving the phone to my husband, because it wouldn't have been pretty. She told me it would be $4,500. Not $45, $4,500, $4,500 is exactly what she said. I was like, what? You're freaking crazy. Handed the phone to my husband. I was livid mad. And basically we just said, you know what? You guys are a joke. We don't want it to have anything to do with you. Now, what I figured out happened, and I'll explain how I figured this out, but that pin drop was a joke. Because technology is not that smart, and when you're dealing with towers that could be anywhere, and if I'm on an iPhone and you have a different system and it's not an Apple, it's going to put your pin someplace else, and it's exactly what happened. That had us down like 450 miles from the spot where we were at. The woman didn't listen to what we were saying when we said we're 50 miles from Tallahassee. You would have thought, let me look at the map of where this put this, because this number doesn't sound right at all. Called up Tallahassee Harley Davidson and they said, hey, we've got a towing service we regularly use. Now, let me back up a second. Called Tallahassee and they would have sent out their truck and trailer to help us out, except it was Sunday and that person wasn't available. So I get that, okay? So they gave us the name of another towing service that they use, Payless. And they were awesome. I called them up and they says, unfortunately, our flatbed is not available. And I asked her when it would be. It wouldn't be till tomorrow. And I'm like, well, that ain't gonna work, because we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around us, okay? There's nothing. And I'll put a picture of how nothing there was. But she gave me the name of Jackson Towing, which they were awesome. The first thing I asked is, do they do bikes? Because if they don't know how to tow a bike, I don't want them anywhere near my bike. And they go, oh, no, they've got bikers over there. They know exactly. So spent some time, and Sheila was the lady over at Jackson Towing. What a godsend. What an angel. We went through the whole thing. Now, this is how I discovered that Harley didn't even get the pin right, because I was talking to Sheila, telling her exactly where we were, and there was a dirt road with a street sign on it, and we were using that kind of as a reference. And when I sent her the pin, which I'm on an Apple, she was on an Android, it put it down near Tampa. And that's how I figured out that the lady at Harley didn't even bother to double check where the pin was going and if that was accurate. So anyway, she figured that out. She goes, sometimes when it's an Apple to an Android, it sends it off on weird stuff. So she goes, here's another number, send it to my Apple phone. And I did, and it was perfect. Now we figured that out. I got a quote from Sheila, which was only a few $100s to get it up to Tallahassee. And I was like, yes, you're a godsend. Let's get the bike up there. Well, Erin decided, let's try the bike one more time and see if it will start and if it will respond properly. And it did. So calling and talking to Sheila and said, we're going to try and limp it up there. Let me clarify. Erin had talked to the guys at Tallahassee, and they said, yeah, you should be okay to be able to ride it up, limp it up, so to speak, and make it. And I'm all like, okay. So what we did is we started up. I talked to Sheila. Sheila says, I'll just leave the claim open, and if you need us, we'll come down and get you. Well, long story short, made it to Tallahassee, got the bike fixed. But my point is, I owe you guys such a big apology. I went out there and said, oh, this is great, and it's a joke. It's a joke. Don't bother. So we also dealt with our insurance company, which was a much better way to go. They said, just pay for it. We'll reimburse you for it. So when you're out in the Toolies on a less busy road in the country and you're out riding, just be aware that when you send those pins, they aren't going to be accurate. Make sure you've got some coverage on your insurance of some other towing package. Don't even bother with Harleys. It's a joke. Which really, what's the point of your membership then if that benefit isn't even worth it? Anyway, hopefully my horrible experience will help you be prepared for your next big bucket list ride, because we're already planning ours for next year. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Don't forget, if you'd like to be a member of the nation, just hit that subscribe button because it's free, and join us on the next episode. Thanks again, ride safe, and catch you next time.